Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Lisa J. Stocks, and today I have a special guest with me, Tori Brown. So, Tori, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I am founder and chef, and I spell chef with an S to emphasize SHE to represent women in the food industry. I am a full-time creator, full-time caterer, I should say. I specialize in Southern style eats and more with a scaling food product line in Connecticut.
And what product are you best known for?
So I am best known for my Bama fish fry, which is a seasoned seafood cornmeal mix. So it's already seasoned to perfection for you. All you have to do is just dip, fry, and enjoy. It's great for traditional deep frying, air frying, pan searing, and more. So that's the biggest product, but I also have 3 additional products as well. I have a gluten-free fish fry as well for the more health conscious. I also have a Bama chicken fry as well, and my hot sauce.
Yes. So, was the hot sauce the very first product?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. The hot sauce was my very first product. I launched that 2008. I actually launched it in 2015 when I started catering, doing the brunch Thursday through Sundays. Once I decided to stop serving in the restaurant, I then decided to bottle the sauce that I was using for my hot wings at the time. So that was my first baby, my breakfast bell hot
Okay.
sauce, and then I went on to produce the cornmeal mixes.
So, I have not tried the chicken
Hmm.
breading yet, but I was
I
first
got you.
I was first introduced to your product. I think I was actually gifted it for Christmas,
Hmm.
the fish fry with the sauce, and it's
Yes,
delicious. I have made fish, I have made shrimp with it. Delicious. I love it.
thank you.
Um, can you talk a little bit about before, my channel is about finance. We're gonna get to that, but I am interested in your journey of being an entrepreneur and how was that? What examples did you have like growing up to that led you into becoming a woman that wanted to take this path of creating her own business?
Yeah, so entrepreneurship is in my bloodline.
Okay.
From my great grandfather to my grandfather, who owned his own construction company in Connecticut, got a lot of state contracts and things of that sort. My grandmother, she is a creative, I used to say, and she used to create arts and crafts and sell her stuff at the fairs and expos and things of that sort. I have uncles who own their own plumbing business,
Mhm.
oil and heating. So it just it runs deep. I have a cousin that owns he does like insurance. My other cousin, she has her own property management company. So it definitely runs in the blood. So growing up and seeing that, I don't know, just something about working a 9 to 5 just never sat well with me. I've done it
Okay.
and I
Okay.
have done it. But it runs in the bloodline, and it's something that I'm happy that I took the leap to finally do and to venture out on my own.
All right, all right. So were you working a kinda traditional 9 to 5
Yes.
before? Okay. So
Yeah.
how was that? How was it when you were balancing trying to build your own business and having to do the 9 to 5? I know I hear people sometimes say you work the 9 to 5 and then you use 5 to 9 or probably more like midnight to
Hmm.
try to focus on yourself. So can you tell us a
Oh,
little
I
bit
was
about
using the
that?
9 to 5. I was using the 9 to 5 to as well sometimes to pursue my dream and my goal as well. So I started out in fundraising, meeting planning, corporate meeting planning. Did that for a while. And during that, I was in charge of like these budgets. I was in charge of, the vendors and everything of that sort with that comes with meeting planning and all the moving pieces with that. And every time we used to do like our national regional conferences, and I had to work with the hotels and the resorts for the banquet event orders, I always loved the catering aspect of it. Always loved that aspect of it, and food, and growing up in the kitchen with my grandmother, I always had a love for food and cooking. So the 9 to 5, again, I did for a while. And then once I kind of got the inkling, okay, I do want to start my own business. I started off with an event planning company called Lady Fancy Events. I soon found out I did not want to be an event planner
Mhm.
as a wedding party planner on my own. And then later down the line, I felt like, okay, you only live once. Let me take this leap and just start cooking and start serving and start catering for people. So I took all the steps that I needed to do to get licensed and things of that sort. And I would use my vacation time, sick time to start doing catering orders or to start doing like one plate meals and things of that sort until I got to this level where I felt like I could leave and venture out on my own.
Okay, so you just wanted to be focused on the food aspect, not
Yes.
the decorating and all the other elements.
No, no, but it's good that I do have that background with that as well. Because when it comes to the catering and people ask, how do you decorate the table or can you do other stuff as well? That definitely helped came into play that I didn't have to outsource for that.
All right, all right. So before we get further into like your journey, what
Mhm.
made you where did you see a lack in that your product was needed? That if there was other products out there, I know I can do something better, or there isn't a product like this out there and I'm gonna fill a void.
Yeah, so the seasoning and spice industry is like almost like a $4 billion industry. So they're not lacking in seasoning and spices at all. I'm a big believer of if there's 100 brands of bread in the aisle, like there's room for everybody. You go to Walmart, you see all these different brands of bread or ketchup. So there's room and there's money for everybody. So that's always been my mentality. Like what's for me is for me.
Mhm,
Of course, doing my own, research and homework on it in this ever-growing business of the seasoning and spice industry, the hot sauce industry as well. I knew that there was room for me, or that I can figure out a market or a consumer base that would want to buy my stuff because there aren't too many fish fry mixes on the market. Of course, you have your bigger brands like the Louisiana Zatarain's
mhm.
and things of that sort. But when it comes to like the smaller businesses like myself, I hate to call myself small because one day I'll be big, but
Mhm.
there was definitely room for me as well to enter the market.
All right, all right. So, you were saying that, you just like to focus on cooking. How about the element of and I'm gonna share all of Tori's YouTube channel, Instagram channel. Everything will be in the description. So definitely check her out. Check out her product. Order it. Make yourself something. It will be delicious. But
Thank you.
as a content creator, or to showcase your business, how is
Mhm.
that? How are you with creating your reels and just going out to events and having to create content for your channel, or is that something that you enjoy or that you don't really do, have someone else do it for you?
So I'm kind of a on the whim kind of person. Like
Mhm.
I could be cooking at home for my family. I'm like, oh, let me take out my ring light and just start recording. Um, but the way I started marketing and positioning myself on social media was I launched my second product at the height of COVID. I could no longer cater and go in these corporate buildings
Okay.
and
Yeah.
cater anymore. So at the time, one of my mentors was like, from the WBDC Women's Business Development Council, she was like, e-commerce is about to be huge.
Mhm.
You probably need to start packaging your other product if you have, any inkling that that's where the route you want to go. So I did that. And at the time, which you see now, there are like these big food content creators, like for instance, Kimmy's Creations, Cord in the Kitchen, Chef Quiche, Mr. Make It Happen. Like these are like people that just created food in their home during COVID and they
Mhm.
have blown up since. Kimmy went from like 200,000 to like over 2 million followers. Like she's huge. Or for instance, like Tabitha Brown at the time, she was doing, I think, Uber deliveries and went in Whole Foods and ordered this like special sandwich. And she blew up from there. And she was actually one of the influencers I sent my product to. So at the time, at the height of COVID, all these people were at home cooking in their kitchen, putting on their camera and recording, putting it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. So they were looking for content. I was looking to send out my product to probably
Mhm.
get promotion. So
Yeah.
I would send out free product and they would create meals and dishes with my product. And then that's how it grew. So I have over 150 influencers that have used and showcased my products on their platform. So not only have I been able to grow my own following, I've also been able to tap into their following as well.
That is great. I definitely knew I would that's in my list of questions here about Tabitha, but you gave
Yeah.
me the whole, background. So how was it when you were able to, thank her and say a few words to her in person?
Yeah. So the first time she posted my product was in 2000, was it 2021? If I'm not it was 2021 if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I've got the dates all over. Um, and that I wasn't necessarily prepared for. I was selling online already, but once she posted it, because I sent her my product maybe like almost a year prior and didn't hear anything from her. And then one day it was just posted. Now I literally have a cousin named Tabitha Brown. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what is she calling me for? She keeps calling me, she keeps calling me, not realizing they were like, no, Tabitha Brown, the Tabitha Brown. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then all of these orders started coming in. And at the time I was working a 9 to 5 at the time. And I quickly had to pivot to figure out how to ship all these orders. That I was going to the post office delivering these orders myself to now going from the postal office coming to my location to pick up these big bags of orders at the time. So she really helped. She's the one that helped me leave my position in 2021, where I said, okay, I got the confirmation that I needed. This is the road and path that I need to be going on to pursue my journey and entrepreneurial journey full time. And I always said when I got the chance to ever meet her and thank her, because I've sent
Mhm.
her like emails and um, notes and stuff saying thank you, but she blew up since then. So I don't know if she ever actually got it. So when
Yeah.
she did one of her latest book tours here, where I did a new thing, I was like, I'm going. I don't
Mhm.
care if you're going. And I know at book tours they do a Q&A. So I was like, God, if I get the chance to say thank you to her, if they pick me in the audience to say it, I'm gonna be ready for that moment. And it was a full like 360 moment to be able to finally say thank you to her and
Mhm.
for what she's done for me and even other Black woman owned businesses as well, because she definitely uses her platform to help elevate and inspire and support other businesses as well.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to get on the mic and say a few words because I wasn't even thinking about that when, so many people are lined up and everybody wants to put their, you know, have the opportunity to talk. Sometimes you
Yeah,
don't get to. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So shout out to Tabitha Brown. Yeah, thank you again.
So, because you said so many people in your family are entrepreneurs and don't always have the normal path. They created their own business, whether it was like you said, plumbing, construction, all these different things. That made it easier for you to kind of follow this path. But have they really been supportive in you kind of doing something different?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I will say a lot of people say, oh, family and friends don't support, or, you see those like, I don't know, negative, but I have to say my family and friends have been totally 100% supportive of me. And I am of anybody, any one of my cousins, friends, they like, oh, I want to start a business. I'm like, okay, how are we going to do this? Okay, let's get your LLC, all of that stuff together. So they were definitely supportive. me being one of the first to enter the food industry aspect of it, I kind of had to navigate that part of it myself. My mom, she did help with a lot of like me figuring out recipes and bulking it up and things of that sort. But yeah, they've been 100% supportive on the back end. Uh, spiritually, physically helping and getting in and helping. So for sure, shout out to my family.
Yeah, that is awesome. Um, so now let's talk about the finance part. So
Yeah.
you said that you got to a point a couple of years ago that you knew the company is flourishing, the orders are coming in. How did you like did you always have a number in mind of when you would be able to walk away from the day job? Was it a clear-cut thing, or were you still, for a while, balancing the 2 because you just weren't ready to give up the 9 to 5?
Yeah, so when I left in 2021, I was ready because I had a false start back in 2000, what was it, 18, about 17, 2017, 18, where I was working out of the restaurant and like I do doing the serving, my breakfast and brunch Thursdays through Sundays. I left my job then. It was a part-time job because I just had my baby, but I still left. Prematurely, I want to say, not
Mhm,
realizing that you needed to have more of a cushion because when your business, a lot of people put in their own money into towards that and it goes fast.
mhm, mhm.
Especially if you're just jumping in like head first. So I actually ended up going back to work full time, and this time I had in my head like, okay, Tori, if the opportunity comes again, when it's time you need to have X, Y, and Z lined up, a savings plan, a contingency plan, in order to do so. And I told myself, okay, I'll save enough to be able to do it for the first 3 years. And if that doesn't work out, I'm humble enough to say, hey, I got a resume. I can always go back to work. God forbid it doesn't work out. Um, Happily, it has worked out, but I will say people do need to have a plan. You really
Okay.
need to have a plan. And even in the 2021, when those orders and stuff did come in, a lot of people aren't prepared for that type of increase. I want to say all at once, and you have to be able to know how to manage it and budget um, for that, and ask for the wisdom to know how to manage it, or the right resources or help to help you navigate that process as well.
So, you talking about that, where did you go to get the financial, the guidance that you needed as far as, creating the LLC, finding,
Yep.
different places to package and produce your product? Do you feel like did you make any is there any insights that you can give to someone that maybe even, mistakes or things that you struggled with or went the wrong direction.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I would say gather people who have been on the road where you are trying to go. If you're trying to open a restaurant, if you have a restaurant down the street from your house, go in there and talk to the manager and ask them the pros and cons of owning a restaurant or any type of business that you want to do. I will say Connecticut is a great resource for small businesses. They have a lot of business program, accelerated programs, and things of that sort. You have like one of the accelerated programs I went through, well, with Reset in Hartford. I'm also a Women's Business Development Council member as well. I have mentors from SCORE. So a lot of programs have these mentors that are willing to pour into you to help you avoid certain pitfalls. Especially, I remember the WBGC, Carol Cheswick, she's like, you need to know your numbers. You need to know your numbers. As a woman owned business, you need to know your numbers. I hate math. I hate numbers. I hate finance. I will tell you
oh,
that.
no.
It's not my lane. So even being able to pick up a mentor through the Connecticut Small Business, and we talk like once a month, and she helps me with like my projections, even like having an accountant who she keeps telling me, Tori, you need to hire me more throughout the year. you know, just
So
those
she gets
people.
overwhelmed when you come, it's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or even me myself, I get overwhelmed, and she's like, "These are things that I can help you avoid, moving forward and things of that sort." So I'm the type of person where I feel like I can do everything. So even like entering my expenses, these receipts into it's a lot. And I would tell any entrepreneur the things that you don't like to do, if you can outsource it, outsource it. I know it may seem like money going out, but it allows you the time to focus on the thing that you love, and that's what's actually going to help you scale the business. So I'm pretty sure Amber would love me saying this right now because
All right, so you flat out said you don't like numbers. Becoming an entrepreneur, did that then have to do you use QuickBooks or anything as far as
yes.
your business? You
Mhm,
do? Okay.
mhm.
But outside of that, you don't like numbers, but being an entrepreneur, did you then have to take on more responsibility and trying to manage, for example, health insurance, retirement planning, things that might have been handled by your employer before you were out on your own?
Yes, yes, yes. I absolutely. Luckily, I have a cousin that's in that field, so he was able to help me navigate a lot of that and being able to transition that because that's not my language. I will say that. I will be totally honest about that part.
Mhm.
So like, like the 401k and the solo Roth, it's a whole lot of lingo and just trying to figure out how to navigate that. I was really able to lean on him for that help and assistance.
Okay, but you got a handle of it, and do you feel confident as
Mhm.
an entrepreneur that you are still on track the same way that you were when you were, working the 9 to 5 for someone else?
I would say I'm confident in keeping the steady level of being able to invest monthly as I have been. What I will say, it's a little more nerve wracking because as an entrepreneur, you have to make that bottom line all on your own. There's no HR to call because you are HR. There's no finance department to call because at the end of the day, you are you are finance. So in that aspect, not totally as confident because it all falls on the solo or the entrepreneur. So especially if you have employees, I can only imagine what that pressure is like to also make sure that you as an employer are doing the right thing to make sure that you're contributing to their retirement or their end goal as well. So yeah.
I know that you are a mom of 2.
Yes.
Uh, do you talk to your children about finance, and have you started or have a plan on, like, saving for their, college or just for them in general? Because you come from a family of so many entrepreneurs, they may take the same kind of path.
Yeah, it's important to have a savings plan for your children, especially college. I think
Mhm.
the idea of college is kind of turning these days where people are more so looking at, okay, I may want to go into a trade. My daughter tells
Mhm.
me all the time she wants to be a YouTuber. Where I'm like, okay, how are we going? How are we going to turn this into money? So the savings plan that I have for her for college, she may not even want to go. So I may have to use that for something else. But just even talking to my daughter more so because I've had to learn on my way as well. I would say my family wasn't as vocal about finances growing up, so it's definitely something I've had to learn on my own, making um mistakes and things of that sort along the way during my own journey. So in order to help me, help my daughter avoid that, I'm teaching her, like, she has a debit card,
Mhm.
obviously the parental on it, but she has like her own card. She knows how to save. She also has a physical piggy bank because I'm old school as well. Old school as well. um, Teaching her about like when we go to, for instance, vending events, how to do the cash register, how to cash out, how to balance out everything. Also teaching her how to write a check, so those things I feel like finance for a 10-year-old, I feel like is
Okay.
more than what I've learned at that age for sure.
At 10 years old, does your daughter know how to write cursive? My daughter does not. My daughter's older than your daughter and does not know how to write cursive. So when you said write a check, I'm like, oh boy, how does she, how does she go? Because they don't teach cursive anymore. So I'm always talking to people about this. Does your daughter know how to sign her name?
She knows how to do like the J, that's the easy, into the E, and then the LL is that's so easy, right? So she
Okay.
does, but it's funny because they don't teach cursive in school anymore, and we used to
Yeah.
get her books at Five Below and had her do like the
Mhm.
tracing and stuff. But to be honest, even when I write checks, it doesn't require cursive anymore. They don't care.
Mhm.
But
They don't care. So I think thank you for sharing your story. What you've accomplished is so inspiring. And I know that you are going to be a great example along with all of your other family members for your daughter and your son to aspire to grow up and probably follow in your footsteps. I'm sure we're going to see great things from the next generation just seeing what you've accomplished.
thank you, thank you.
I wanted to mention that you were saying, who knows what the future may hold. I happen to invest for my daughter into a UTMA account.
Mhm.
So a little bit more flexibility there. It's not only tied to higher education and like tuition and room and board. So, but at the same time, her money is invested. So
Yeah.
it's growing at so much of a stronger rate than it would be just being
Mhm.
in savings or sitting in a CD. So, if you ever wanna chat about anything like that, you can reach out.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing about being an entrepreneur, about, your financial journey as well, because, that's what we are about over here on my channel. I'm going to share a few clips from Tori's YouTube channel so you can see her product and see her in the kitchen
Oh,
working and just, in action, as
thank
well as a few of the celebrities, like she mentioned, Tabitha Brown, that have used her products. So check her out, follow her on social media.
Yes, at Bama Fish Fry and More, and also Breakfast Bell. So at Bama Fish Fry and More, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Sorry, TikTok. Sorry, I gotta get with the kids and learn all these these
You want
different
to?
platforms.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. But all of her social media will be tagged in the description. So make sure to check her out. Thank you so much for taking time out to talk to me tonight, Tori. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.